Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, April 25th, 2023, and I am on the road to Lincoln. And unless you've been living under a rock lately, you probably can guess why. Today is the day. Last Wednesday, LB77 was passed by the Nebraska legislature. Today, Governor Jim Pillen will sign it. And it's kind of a big deal. So that's what's going on. I am on the road down there, and I thought that I would take the chance, since I missed everybody going live last Wednesday night, to just go live and say hi, because it's kind of fun to do when I'm out here on the open road. I'm not driving in downtown Lincoln watching traffic. I can kind of keep up a little bit with who's talking to me. I usually don't have a ton of traffic on these midday or mid-morning streams. The 500 Magnum's out there. Can't spell my name right, but you know what? We'll give you an E for effort. Yes, number 27. I joked with the rest of the board for NFOA that we should get jerseys made up with number 27 on the back. Thought that'd be kind of cool. But either way, we're just happy that we finally got here. We wanted to be the first one this year, but that didn't work right. But that's partly because there were so many bills that were huge coming through the unicameral this year in Nebraska. There's a bill for fetal heartbeat. There's a bill for banning gender reassignment surgeries on minors, not overall, just on minors. And it seems like there was one more really big one. Voter ID. So along with permitless carry. So it's been kind of a big session for the legislature. And those of you keeping your finger on the pulse of Nebraska politics, you know that we've got one or two senators down there in Lincoln that have vowed to burn this session to the ground. Their words, not mine. Because the gender reassignment surgery bill got voted out of committee, and it made them mad. They wanted it to just die in committee, and that didn't happen. And so they just vowed they would do everything they could to block every conservative senator's bill that came up for debate. And they're trying. But luckily, this is the first year our legislative sessions last for 2 calendar years. They don't go all year long. So, but of the 2 calendar years, calendar year one of the given session is the longer leg of the session. It goes into June. And then next year, the session will start in January and only go into April. So there's plenty of time this year to get some of these bills passed. So they've been working on that. And I lost track of the number of hours now that Senator Brewer has spent with one of his bills for constitutional carry in debate on that chamber floor. But I want to say it's up around 44, 45 hours of debate. 7 years worth of effort, and finally this day is here, and I can't find the right words. Can't find the right words to explain exactly what I'm feeling. I didn't have a big part, I'm just a small cog in a great big machine that has been working for many years to make this happen. I didn't come into the picture until just a couple of years ago, about three years ago, when I became a board member for NFOA. But I tell you what, I'm having a hard time being humble today. I really am. We did it. So I played a small part, but I played a part. And if you out there listening, watching this, if you took the time to drive to Lincoln any of these years, not just this one, any year past, to testify on behalf of a constitutional carry bill, if you sent online comments in, or before that happened, sent written comments in, if you made phone calls to your senator, if you may send emails or sent letters to your senator's offices, if you helped at all, even to raise awareness that permitless carry does not create the OK Corral gunfight on every street corner, you played a part, and this is for you. You helped. Who's to say that the conversation that you had 3 years ago about permitless carry might have planted a seed that somebody else decided later on they had a conversation with somebody else. That info that you gave them got passed along to enough people that cooler heads prevailed, and our legislature finally voted to obey the Constitution. Not just the one for the U.S., but the one for our state. DJ, I don't know, did you have a question up there? The governor's office had the press conference at 2 p.m. today. Likely the signing. Do you have information to the contrary? The signing is at 2 p.m. The location, I'm not sure about anymore. There's been some stuff that I'm not at liberty to completely discuss. But it might not be where we thought it was going to be, because there might be some sort of some bad stuff happening. So I will be open to the public anymore. The governor's office and Nebraska media office are being slow to answer questions for my guess, and I don't know. This is my opinion. That's why I'm going live on the Sandhills channel and not the NFOA channel, because none of this is official. My opinion only. I'm guessing because they're trying to play it close to the vest and make sure that there's no violent protests. If we don't have a mostly peaceful demonstration or something because of this. You know, people that are worried that there's going to be violence in the streets getting violent. Where's the irony there? So that's just my opinion, but I'm guessing that would explain it for sure. So I've seen a few other press releases. I don't know exactly where the signing is going to be now. I do know that, of course, Nebraska State Patrol will be there in force with security for both for the governor and just for the event itself. They'll make sure that nothing bad happens in there. I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen outside the building, if there's going to be crowds of protesters. I don't know. We'll see. If that happens, I will might even turn on my camera and go live from Lincoln. Hopefully there's a good enough connection when I'm roaming down there just to go through the crowd. Just who knows what could happen. So hopefully it's a non-issue. Hopefully it's a big nothing burger. That's my ultimate wish, is that it's just a big old nothing burger and this is all for naught. But you can't be too careful. Excuse me. The whole reason for this bill is you can't be too careful, right? We have to put our own personal protection ahead of everything else, and so that's what they're going to do. And of course, the state patrol is responsible for the protection of the governor, so they're going to put that, of course, top of the list as well. I just know where I'm supposed to be at what time today, and then a bunch of us will make our way to wherever we need to go. There'll be plenty of press there. You can probably pick it up on every news station. I'm sure it'll go national, the signing of that bill. I will record it, provided that they grant me spot for my tripod. I'm just gonna set my other phone up on my tripod and just let it roll. I'm just gonna turn it on and let it roll. I won't have any kind of microphone, so I don't know that we're gonna get a lot of sound pickup, but that's what's going to happen. I do know that the event will be live streamed on Nebraska Public Media. So if you can go to Nebraska Public Media and find the page, good bump there, with the schedules for their live streaming of the legislature stuff, you should be able to find that, and you'll be able to watch it live, and hopefully the that YouTube page will, one that I can never think of the name of it, they'll pick it up and they'll repost it as well. I'll be posting up what I get. I'll get home and I'll trim the ends off the video and just get the relevant parts on there, and then I'll be posting that up on my page, on the NFOA pages. So you'll be able to find that anywhere that there's Sandhills Media, Facebook, YouTube. I will put that up. It'll go to Rumble once I post it on YouTube. It'll get its way to Rumble too. And I'll put it up on the NFOA stuff. So Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter feeds there. It won't be live, but it will be there. So, and I will, once I find that link, when I'm not driving, when I get to the Capitol, I will find the link for the live feed from Nebraska Public Media, and I will post that up on all those places as well. So NFOA, Facebook, and YouTube, and Twitter. So if you haven't found us on all three of those platforms, if you're on all three, I would encourage you to do so. If you haven't found Sandhills Media yet on Rumble, I would sure love more subscribers over there. And I would love to grow that, because who knows how long YouTube is going to let us continue to speak our mind. Especially, and a lot of you don't know this, it's completely off subject from LB77, but just on my channel alone on YouTube, I've always tried to keep my live streams not necessarily family friendly, but at least keep the language to where people can play it in the car or have it on in the room without sending the kids away, or telling the kids to hear about it. I don't want my live streams to devolve into just a whole bunch of, drunken sailor type language. But I've also been fairly moderate on the things that I've said, and allowed people to say to an extent. I don't really have a lot of control over what people say when they come on. I just trust that they'll go by the guidelines I give them, and keep the F-bombs out and keep most curse words to a minimum. But, sometimes we get worked up and we say things, and that's understandable. But I'm thinking it's about time to take the gloves off a little bit more and call things like they are. That doesn't mean we're going to ramp up the curse words. That does mean that some of the topics, some of the opinions, may not be tempered as much, may not be, buffered as much, right? They might not have that nice little candy coating to help the pill go down a little better. It might be a little more bitter pill to swallow, if we keep on that metaphor. So who knows? Doing that, is YouTube going to let me continue to run my mouth the way that they have been so far? Now, every time I put up a live stream, as soon as it goes live, it gets demonetized, and I have to request a review on every one of those. And then they'll wait about 5-6 days until most everybody that's going to watch it has. Then they'll send the email and say, yep, you've been approved for monetization on this video, when it's after the fact. And so YouTube's not giving me money. Google doesn't pay out until you've racked up $100 worth of ad revenue. They won't pay out less than 100. And if you consistently have over 100 every month, they'll pay monthly. But they don't pay monthly If you don't have over 100 in there, they don't pay anything. So I typically get one payment a year, maybe two in a calendar year. If I get one early in the year, then I might get one by the end of the year as well. It might take that long to rack up $100 worth of revenue. So anybody that thinks that just because we're monetized that we're making money doing this, no. I just got a recent payment. Now I'm shopping for maybe a better ring light and a different camera mount. Change the view a little bit from live streams. Change the angle. Not have my camera sit on top of my monitor. So we'll see. We'll see if that works or not. I may like that. I may hate that. We'll have to take a look and see. But anyway, that's one of the things I've been thinking about doing, which means that YouTube may kick me off. Who knows? In which case, Rumble will be the way to go, because they don't kick you off for what you say as long as you're not breaking any laws and you're not posting pornographic material. Those are their big guidelines on what you post. You can have freedom on Rumble. It's pretty cool. It's a weird concept, right? So give me a second here to navigate through a couple of lights, and just got to Columbus. I'm running behind. I've got a meeting with somebody at 11. I'm not going to make it quite on time, but it should be okay. Trying not to get any speeding tickets on my way down to Lincoln either. That's just going to take longer. I don't really save myself any time by speeding if I get caught speeding and have to stop and talk to the nice state patrol or sheriff's deputy about why I was driving so fast. Then I'll explain what I'm doing, and we'll have a conversation about that. I'm sure it'll go really well, but it's going to take that much longer. And I can avoid all that by not getting a speeding ticket, right? Not getting stopped. So anyway, constitutional carry. I know there's been some comments. I was driving through a little more heavily trafficked area, so I'm going to go back through some of these. DJ had to run. What else did I miss? Gabriel says, congrats. Yes, thank you very much. Everybody's kind of saying hi to people. I didn't see what the question was. Somebody said Tennessee is. I don't know what Tennessee is. They're hanging in there. Maybe some bad gun laws coming through, maybe. Michigan's getting hit very hard. Same with Washington, Connecticut, and Maryland. And Gabriel thinks I'm discriminating against drunken sailors, and I'm here to tell you, you're darn right I am. These sailors are hard enough to deal with when they're not drunk, which is, I know, not much of the time, but you know who you are out there. It's bad enough to deal with regular sailors, and then you get the drunken ones in there, and my gosh, I mean, I'm just saying they're a good group of people, but you just can't have them around your grandma. You know, you wouldn't be able to record them talking and then play it at church is what I'm getting at there. So, okay, I've got somebody slow passing somebody going even slower here, and I can't get around them. This is Colorado driver, that's why. I've never seen a Colorado driver drive that slow before. They normally go balls in the walls. Makes me think they probably grew up in Nebraska and moved to Colorado. Excuse me. Or they're from eastern Colorado, which is nothing like the mountain people. Californians move into Colorado, push all the good Colorado people from the mountains out into the plains in the east of Colorado there. And those people are still pretty decent. Some of the ones around Denver, I wonder about. But hey, you can hug a tree all you want. I don't care if you hug a tree. But just don't drive spikes into them to hurt the logging industry people. They're just trying to make bucks. Don't do stuff that causes injuries. That's stupid. You can hug the tree. But when the guy with the chainsaw walks up to it, you might want to move. Just saying. What else have I? Yeah, Illinois. Roll call takes care of the swearing for a whole flotilla. Is that what that says? 500 says some BS gun control there in Georgia about so-called safe storage. Safe for the criminals, that is. Yeah, that's the thing. Anybody who thinks that having mandatory safe storage, which means that the gun has to be locked up unless you're actually using it or transporting it to and from, otherwise it has to be in a safe. You can't just have one. You can't keep a gun, in your nightstand. It's got to be locked in a safe behind a lock, key or keypad or whatever. If you think those are good ideas, I want you to look up Mary Forges. It's Forgues in Connecticut. She is a DC Project rep for up there, but her story is very, very, very scary stuff. Somebody that she knew, it was a familiar, was in her house with her and attacked her, and she made her way upstairs, and he followed her up there and was strangling her in her bedroom, and she managed to fight away from him enough to get to the dresser where she had her handgun, and then she was able to hold him there until the police got there. But if she had to find a key or put in a key code or something before she could access that handgun, it would have never happened. She wouldn't have had that kind of time when she broke away from him before he was back on top of her again. And I don't want to steal her thunder. She tells her story, of course, the best because it's her story. But the way I understand it, he had his hands around her throat. She was on the verge of blacking out because she was getting strangled. And her daughter, who was, I don't know what age at the time, preteen, but not very, not very far, not very young, probably still double-digit age, but preteen, I believe, at that time, was off with some friends doing some stuff. And her thought was, gosh, what's she going to come home to and see if this guy kills me? And then her next thought was, what if she comes home and he's still here and I'm not there? So she renewed her efforts. That was the catalyst that she needed to fight him off and get to her gun. And then she was able to hold him there. She didn't shoot him. She just held him there, and he understood the prospect of a sucking chest wound was not what he wanted, so he backed off. She held him there while she was able to call the police, but that could have turned out way differently, and I wouldn't know Mary today. We wouldn't know her story if Connecticut had a safe storage law when that happened. So safe storage law is very, very bad. Safe storage, very, very good. The responsible thing to do, right? But you shouldn't be mandated to keep your gun in your safe in your own house. That's just dumb, because how does that get enforced to begin with? It's kind of like Lincoln's 24-hour limit on vehicle storage for a handgun or for a firearm. Well, my gun was stolen out of my car. Well, how long had it been there? Well, it's the one I keep in my car. Well, now you're a criminal too. And the victim shame. It's your own fault for leaving the gun there. It's not the criminal's fault for breaking in and stealing your stuff. No. It's your fault for leaving it there. It'd be the same way with safe storage. Well, if you left your gun out and you got blasted for that, it's your own fault for leaving your gun to where you could use it. It's not the criminal's fault for coming into your house and attacking you. It's your own fault. You're the one that's in trouble for having your gun not in the safe, right? And then that's just dumb. How do they enforce that? Unless somebody actually attacks you, there's some way that they find out that the gun's not in the safe. Can they go door to door? We're doing a safe check. We just need to sweep the house to see if all of your guns are are locked up in the safe like they should be. I mean, it's just dumb. Um, if you have unauthorized fingers in your house, then yeah, you want to make sure that there's some way to keep the firearms away from those unauthorized fingers, obviously. But that shouldn't be a state mandate. Just like having a permit to carry your firearm on an open field, that shouldn't be a state mandate either. I'm glad the permit's not going away because it offers so many more things besides uh, just the ability to carry concealed. But I don't think it should be mandatory. I'm so happy that LB77 got passed. I'm not showing it here, but when I watched that vote on the live stream, I was at work. When I should have been working, I was watching that, and I may have been just a tad bit disruptive over the deal. And of course, nobody at work shared my enthusiasm because they don't know what it means. They know it's important to me, but it's not important to them per se. So drunken line cooks are just as bad. Hey Joe, what's up? I see you out there. I'm very thankful for all of you who helped, because NFOA could not have done this without the members and the rest of Nebraska who aren't members. This is the fruits of Nebraska style effort, where we all pitch in and we all help. Now I know there's a lot of people out there who didn't, and no thanks to them, we still got this done. But it sure would have been nice to have that help from a lot more people a lot sooner, because we wouldn't be clear into 2023, and we wouldn't be number 27. We'd have been a lot lower on that list, or closer to number 1, if Nebraskans would have just got their crap together and done this sooner. But no, that's not what happened, because Nebraskans didn't want to rock the boat. And it wasn't until the summer of love in 2020 that people started paying attention. And even then, it took 3 more years before we got here. But we're here now. That's all in the past. What matters is we're here now. So those that helped, thank you. And those that sat there on your hands and watched everybody else do the work for you, guess what? Congratulations. You get to benefit now too. You shouldn't, but you do. So you get to enjoy the fruits of the labor of everybody else, and I hope you recognize that you didn't do a damn thing to help. You just get to enjoy the freedom that the rest of us worked for. So you're kind of like on freedom welfare. You didn't work for it, but you got it anyway. Somebody else had to pay for it. You just get to enjoy it. That's welfare. So people that don't put out the effort, that's kind of like the present not voting. The people that, who cares? Colorado people didn't do this because they're in Colorado, right? People in New York don't care if Nebraska passes this because they're not in Nebraska. But the people in Nebraska that are present, that didn't do a thing, well, that's not a yes vote or a no vote. That's present not voting. And I know most of you get pissed off about that. But then you turn around and do it yourself, which makes me pissed off. So don't be present not voting. Stand up and be counted. I don't want to be on a list. You're on a list. Trust me. People are watching you. If you think that's not happening, then you've got another thing coming. Now, I'm not talking about you're on some government watch list where they're tapping your phones and put a tracker on your car. What I am talking about is nobody is anonymous anymore, right? Unless you can live completely off the grid, in which case you're not watching this anyway because you don't have an internet connection. So if you have a smartphone in your pocket, then you're already on lists, advertising lists, and everything else. You're just afraid that the government's going to come take your stuff if you stand up and advocate for the government not coming in and taking your stuff. I don't get it. Whatever. Each their own. But those of you that worked hard, congratulations. It's for you. I wish everybody that worked on this could be there in the room today. I feel very privileged, very blessed that I do get to be there. So can't wait for that. Agorizer's out there. Vanessa Kitty's out there. Connecticut's been expecting infringements for a long time. Yeah, that's sad. That's kind of like the abused spouse syndrome, right? It's just I've been abused for so long. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to live without the abuse now. I can't leave him. He loves me. He's really a good guy when he's not, knocking me out or throwing me around the room or breaking bones. He's really kind and loving afterwards. He buys me flowers and gifts and everything else, and he says he's sorry and he doesn't mean it. It'll never happen again, and then it happens again. But then he buys me more flowers, and it's my own fault. It's my fault for doing this. If I didn't make him so angry, if I didn't screw everything up all the time, he wouldn't beat on me like that. Some states get to that point where they start to believe the lie that it's their own fault and they don't deserve better. Just like some people in abusive relationships, they start to believe the lie because they hear it for so long, they forget the truth. And the lie becomes their reality. And they don't know how to get away. They don't even want to get away. That Stockholm syndrome sets in. And so some people are like that. Some states are like that. Some states' residents are like that. Gosh, I'm so used to it now. I've been doing okay with all these infringements on my freedom for so long that, I don't know what it's like to be free. And then they move to a different state that is free, and that freedom scares them. And so they vote for the same laws that they moved away from to begin with because they'd rather have the security of the abuser, the abusive laws, the rules that suck, than take a chance and be free on their own and go into that big unknown that is freedom, right? It's not safe. Freedom's not safe. Safety isn't free. Some people think that the laws will keep them safe. Some of us don't. Some of us don't believe the law can keep us safe. Some of us are happy that now we don't have to break laws. We can still abide by the law, even if we can't afford to go take a class and get a permit. We'll be able to abide by the law, right? We won't be breaking a law. And I'm not saying that people have been carrying all along that, they're good people that were breaking the law, carrying without a permit. Those are criminals. I've heard from a few people on social media that say, I don't ask the state for permission now. I just do whatever I want, and I'll take my chances. Well, you're not helping. You are a criminal. You're the very kind of people that make it difficult to pass these laws to begin with. And then you go out and announce it, blare it all over social media, thinking that you're some kind of big shit. You're not. You're a piece of shit. The only way that we win this fight is that we play within the rules. The rules suck. Today we're making them a little better. But overall, the rules still suck. But we cannot win from the penalty box. We have to still be out there skating on the ice. We have to abide by the rules and play by the rules as they are today. And we'll work on changing them as we go. But until they get changed, you don't get to break the rules and then say that you're still a great, honorable person. You're not. There's no honor. There's no honor in breaking the rules. You can say what you want about civil disobedience. Sometimes I wonder, where's the honor? I'm glad the country's here. But it's one thing to start a movement. It's another thing entirely to just go out on your own and just break the law as a single entity. You're not accomplishing anything. You're not making any kind of a statement. You're not you're not allowed enough voice. Why did the Boston Tea Party work? Because it was a loud voice. There were many, many, many people involved, right? They all made a statement, and they all agreed to abide by the consequences, right? Live or die. This is what we're going to do. And they were trying to start a movement. So if that's what you're trying to do, great. But it's not going to work. Not in today's landscape. Everybody just ignoring the concealed carry law isn't going to work. Not unless you can come up with a statewide effort of everybody. If everybody stopped listening to the law, then maybe something would happen where they take it off the books or something. But that's not the way Nebraska works. It ain't going to happen. So I say for now, abide by the laws. Let's change them until they're better. So, all right, let's see. That is happening. You got 2 legs. Yeah, it's not easy for everybody, though. I have met people who wanted to get out of abusive relationships and just didn't. Felt like they couldn't. What is it? Better the devil you know than the devil you don't know, right? And freedom and independence were too big of a devil that they didn't know, too big of an unknown. At least they knew what to expect with the abuse. They didn't like it, but they knew what to expect, and it became their quote-unquote comfort zone, even though it was not comfortable at all. But it was scarier, the thought of leaving, because again, they bought into the lie. They thought they were worthless. They thought that they couldn't make it without that abuser. They thought that abuser would take everything away from them, especially if there's kids involved. I've seen it. People will put up with a lot more abuse for a lot longer when there's a kid in the picture, because they don't want to lose the custody, and they don't want the abuser to be alone with the kid without them there to basically shield the kid. You know, if he's beating on me, he's leaving the kid alone. Better me than the kid, right? Which is noble, but still not the right way. So, all right, what else can I just go off on a random tangent on today? I'm going to have to hang this up. We're about to the point where I'm going to lose you guys anyway, and I'm going to get all robot. So I'll just say good day. And here in a few hours, 2 p.m. Central Time, is the signing of LB77. So you can find that on Nebraska Public Media website. Once I get a chance to find that link, I will post it as well, both on Sandhills and on NFOA. So you can go find that link and then tune in and watch history in the making today, Nebraska history for sure. This must be how people felt back in 2006 when the Concealed Handgun Permit Act was signed. Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait to get there, and it's a big day. And I don't think it's fully hit me yet how big, but I do know that. Stay tuned. I don't know how big of a place we're going, but we're going to do something after the signing. There's going to be kind of an after party. I think we'll make it known to the public. So if you're in the Lincoln area and want to stop in, you can. I will get that info when I have it, and we'll let people know about that too. But yeah, big day. Can't wait. I'm going to take off for now, you guys. I love you. God bless you. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow night to the Get Off My Lawn podcast. We're going to talk about what it means to be a woman. We're going to have a panel full of women. It's not going to be anything about trans. It's going to be all about just what it means to be a woman. We may even have a trans person on the panel. So we're not going to argue about who is and isn't a woman. We're just going to talk about the role of women in general, and then get some personal stories from our panel full of strong, independent, yet feminine women. So there you go. Catch that tomorrow, Wednesday night, April 26th, 8 p.m. Central Time. Today, 2 p.m., signing LB77. All right, I'm going to go. Later.